127. This is my general overview for the course. Let's go over some things we need to do to get started. So what we'll have you do is the first thing you need to do is go through this checklist, read through the Let's Get Started module, watch this video, what you're doing now, complete your academic quiz, complete your syllabus quiz, introduce yourself on Discord, set up a WebAssign account, install and test your Lockdown browser, download and print the first set of files, prepare an online notebook, and start working on assignments. Okay, so let's go through this. A couple other things to note. This class is self-paced. Organized in weekly blocks. You usually have about 3 weeks of assignments available to you. So you feel free to work ahead, especially since it's an online class. The course is relatively even paced. There's some parts where it picks up and some parts where it slows down for sure. And we'll go over that a bit. Textbook note, we moved to the 8th edition in spring of 2025. This is the second term if you're watching this in fall. And I've gone throughout the entire course and updated, and I make notes. Some of the videos and other stuff will still say the old stuff because it's kind of baked in. In the math department and I, in the online department, haven't had the time or resources, aka the money, to get it all done, to reshoot new videos, recrop the new videos, and to do closed captioning and all the other stuff for you. So for now, the content's 100% the same. So they might have a slightly different section number, which isn't a big deal at all. Okay, so when you come here, if you go to home, this is what you'll see. You'll see announcements up top, coming up assignments right here, and everything. You can click right here. Here's the Meet the Instructor. This is me, my wife, my 2 dogs, and my son, Glenn. And you can just read a short snippet about me. I've been teaching higher education for a long while. Course introduction video. This is the old video, but we'll be making the new one, so you'll watch this here. The next thing we have is interactive courseware. So let me just open these in tabs so I don't have to keep doing stuff. So here we are. So here's a little flyer. There's like this first day. So how it works is basically the university buys your access to WebAssign, and then it charges it to your university account. Since this course material is active, it's an opt-out thing. So if you don't want to do that, go ahead and opt out of it. But for most people, it just works, and it works everything. So it's just easy, seamless, and all that. The actual details of how it works is slightly changes every term, and I don't get to see the process firsthand. So we'll ask your friends on Discord, and they'll help you out. Okay. Let's hit the syllabus next. Here's your syllabus for the course. Okay, so this course has mandatory online homework and a group common final. So the homework, the quizzes, and the final are all written by the department. And so I have to use what they do. Okay, the final will be December 12th. Between 10:10 to 12:10 p.m. I cannot change that time. If you cannot make that time, you have to provide a documented note to the math department. Okay, so this is the course. This is the year of the course, and that this might change a little bit, so I won't go into it too much if I reuse this. A couple notes for emailing me. So use your Revel account only. That's the only one I can technically respond to according to the FERPA rules, which is Family Education Privacy Right Act, something like that, close enough. When you email me with your name, 127. You can write section online or just online, that way I know which one you are, and a reason for your email. I'm teaching an overload, and I usually do, so I have over 250 students, if not more. So just let me know who you are, what class you are. If not, I'm just going to kick it back to you. That way I can address you in your class without going hunting for an hour. Required info, write your name. I don't accept attachments except for official documentation, just because I shouldn't open attachments on my computer. I usually respond Monday through Friday in the mornings, not weekends. If you hear something from me in person, always confirm via email. That way you have a record of it, I have a record of it. It protects you, it protects me. Everyone could be fair. It's like, this is what we agreed to, and that's what it is. I respond to emails as they're received, and if there's an urgent issue, try not to panic if I don't email right away. I can open up everything but the final. The department's the only but in that I can take care of it. So if you have to go to the ER or something, you can't take the midterm, just let me know and we'll address it and we can fix it there. And the last thing is never ask for an extension. In this class, I don't do extensions. In fact, in all my classes, I stopped doing extensions because you get an extension, then you don't meet it, then you get another extension, don't meet it, you get another extension. And so it just becomes this weird game. Instead, in this course, and you'll read it down below, but let me just address it now. You just have a 10% late penalty for a day you don't turn it in. If after you turn it in, you come to my office hours and say, hey, Professor Meager, I just didn't do this. I just, and give an excuse. Like the first 2 times, you could just say, I got busy and I'll be fine, right? The second after that, you probably need to provide documentation of why you missed assignments, especially since this is an online course. You're welcome to work ahead and at your own pace. So, so do that. So don't ask for extension. Just do your work, and then it will come in. It'll come. And we can remove the late penalties later. All right, so course description, this Math 127. You should have passed Math 126 or be able to be in this course. Calculus, we're using Pre-Calculus Custom 8 Edition. Again, it should be purchased to you automatically along with the WebAssign. The lockdown browser's right here on the side. It's suggested you have a calculator. This is the official statement. This is what it goes through. You just click it and it works automatically. Special note, during summer and fall, there's a mandatory meeting. This will not happen for you guys because you're the online course. Grades are 15% is the online homework. 5% will be the notes. 5% will be the discussion. 10 are quizzes. 20% is the end chapter test. 15% is the midterm, and 30% is the final exam. Again, that's the Friday of finals week. In fact, for fall 2025, I don't update this every year. That Friday is a finals week. It's always Friday's a final week. For this term, fall 2025 is Friday, December 12th. Okay, it's always the same time. It's always that Friday, and your letter grades are this. You can read through this. These are things we're going to be studying. The course schedule is something separate, and I'll show you that. Online discussion. You are going to be doing online discussions. In fact, let's just go back to this real quick and open up the Discord thing. Let me just explain parts of the class as we hit them. You're going to have a Discord server. You click on this. It's going to bring you over to, let me just drag this window in, a Discord server. This is our Discord server for fall of 2025. You'll have one for whatever term it is. Here you can just write general questions for general in-person, general online, homework help. Since the homework is more or less the same, it's just in one. Exam reviews, that, and study groups. Okay, and so you can just post here. There is some off-topic where you can say whatever, put memes and that, and this is pretty active for my course. So this is Discord. You just click this link right here and you'll be put into that. One thing to notice is that I am labeled for you, and then I have a GA this term for my 431 is labeled for you. The GA should be mostly working with the 431 students though. So you click this link. You have to post every week. We'll get to it in a second. But at least 50% of the posts you submit should be relevant to the course. You can post 100 memes every day, and that's fine, just as long as what you turn into me 50% of the time has something to do with the course. Okay. Other than that, it's up to you. All right, let's go back to our syllabus. Class notes and worksheets. All right, you're going to see here this all math notes PDF, right? Zip, and you just download it and it has all the notes. And also when you go through the course, you're going to see a little overview. Let's go ahead and look at one right now. You have an overview. It says what we're going to do. It's what's going on this week. And then when you click the next one, it'll take you to the guided notes. They used to be a download, but now you'll just download it on your own. And so here's like this, and then here will be videos. You're going to watch the videos for these notes. Here, let me open the notes real quick and show you an example of one. Let me open that up and bring it into view. Here we are. Here's an example of the notes. So you'll see this. This is what the PDF will look like. And as you watch these videos, it's literally me just filling out these notes. And you're just going to follow along, fill out these notes, and write on this PDF right here. You're going to write on the actual PDF what is here. And then when you're done with that, there's like a little knowledge check. And then here we will have the filled out version. So go ahead and watch it and then fill it out. If I go back to the modules, and you're going to see that for each set of notes. Then, so those are the class worksheets. So you're going to fill those out, and then you're going to turn them in. Well, you're going to turn them in right here. So here in our first one, we watched through this. We're going to watch through the second one. Then you're going to see a notes. Let's open this in a new tab and look at it. Here, you're going to turn it in as a single PDF you can do a single PDF for both sets of notes, or at least one PDF for 5.1 and one PDF for 5.2. How you turn this in, up to you, but it must be on that template I showed you. That PDF I gave you, it has to be on that. Okay? If it's not that, I just ship it back to you for the first 2 weeks. After the first 2 weeks, you just get a 0. You can print the template, do it by hand. I've seen people do it on their phones. You can use scanners at the school. You can use a scanning app as like Adobe Scan. That works great. That's how I used to do it. I moved over to GoodNotes to take notes, but there's lots of apps. There's notation. There's 1,000 ways you can take notes on PDF these days. Whatever works for you. Okay, and then you're just going to hit, then you'll just submit it here. All right, and so you'll submit the notes here. What am I expecting? Let me be very clear about that. When you submit the notes, they should be on the worksheets. They need to be on worksheet, not line paper, not scrap paper, the worksheets themselves. And if I don't make marks on a page, I still hope you turn in that page in, because the goal is that you will have a set of notes for the class that you can refer to pass all your exams and refer to later if you need it in your future math courses. Okay, I make all these notes. These notes are all hand typed by me in a formatting language called LaTeX, and I spent the time to try to make them as very useful for you. Okay, while we're here, let's go ahead and look at the participation. Here, participation, you're just going to submit this online. You just hit submit evidence, and then it goes right on in. Okay, so these open like the week beforehand, and you cannot make up participation because you either were participating in the class or you were not. So let's close out some of these tabs and get back to our syllabus. All right, WebAssign assignments. So on WebAssign, you're going to get access to WebAssign. Let me just show you one of those assignments right now. So here, let's say this. So the first time, let me go up actually here, WebAssign access, and we can do this first. So first time you're gonna build an account and register. Use your Revel username and Revel thing. There's no class key, it's all synced. Make sure there's a group discount, which we talked about. Every time you do WebAssign assignment, make sure you come through Canvas. If you don't come through Canvas, it won't work. It'll lock you out and give you some error. Okay, the Lockdown browser is required for quizzes and exams, so when you do that, just log into Canvas in the Lockdown browser, then log into WebAssign. Okay, so the first time you do this, it will ask you to make an account. Mine won't make an account. In fact, it'll go to my professor page, right? But you're going to just click on this. You're going to have homework to do. You're going to click on this. It's going to take you to WebAssign, and give it a second. It'll go to my instructor page. But after that, we can go to something you will see. Here we are. Here's our course. And let's hit our future assignments. There we go. And let's view the first one. So here, if I view this first one, you can see a bunch of assignments for you to fill out. You not only do this homework here, but you're also going to make a notebook. Okay, you're going to make a notebook. Let me see if in the syllabus. So here's information. The homework you get 5 tries, quizzes you get 2 tries, exam. They're time assignments. The tests and all the tests are timed, the quizzes are not, you do need to use a lockdown browser. All right, a notebook. You need to keep a notebook when you do WebAssign assignments. This is to discourage the use of AI and to make sure you get used to the art of practicing how to make a mathematical argument. So you're going to write everything out. Each problem must be clearly labeled. All steps need to be shown. Work must be handwritten on a paper or a tablet, a single PDF. Important policy: if you turn in a WebAssign assignment that does not have a notebook, the official stance of the department is you probably just used AI and didn't do anything, and so you get a 0 for that assignment. We don't report people. I guess some people do, but you'll just get a 0 assignment. For the exam, the department, not the department requires within 1 hour of finishing it, you submit your notebook. If not, I have to give you a 0. So please never forget to submit your notebooks, okay? So we do it on the homeworks, we do it on the quizzes, we do it on the test. Everything you do on WebAssign has a notebook. So what's that notebook look like? I give you a sample right here. Everything I expect you to turn in, I have a sample for you, okay? Here's a sample notebook for online assignments. So some people like to just take screenshots and put them in here. It's kind of hard on the lockdown browser. Or you can just write it out. Just put 2. Let's zoom on in just a bit so you can see. So here, you can see either just take a crest and then just solve it over here. Or here, if you can't take the screenshot, just write 2 cosine theta is equal, or cosecant theta is equal to 6. Theta is in the first quadrant. Find all the trig functions and then solve it. It doesn't have to be super clean or anything, but it needs to be legible, right? I mean, my handwriting is a little bit of chicken scratch. You'll learn that. But it does need to be handwritten, and it does need to write out everything you need to do. I need to see that you did your work, okay? So you're going to do that for each problem. I uploaded a practice exam I did for my summer course as a reference, and that way you can see what's expected for a whole host of different problems, okay? So that's your notebook. So let's go ahead and click out of this. These are your WebAssign assignments, okay? Go ahead and click out of this. Again, you just click right here. You'll see a little button that says load into this, and it just loads it into a new window. All right. All right, let's keep going now. We don't need the flyer anymore. All right, calculator. You need to have our calculator technology. It's an online course. The lockdown browser won't allow you to use anything else, so you do need a separate calculator or just use your phone, right? You can, both Canvas and WebAssign are essential for this course. You need to have functional things. If you do not have functional things, accounts, meaning your accounts don't work, I can give some leeway, but if it's a consistent issue, it won't be, the department doesn't think it's good enough for an excuse. I'll work with you, but just be aware. Late makeup policy. Okay, let's talk about late work real quick. So late makeup. So late work with a valid excuse. So what do you do? So let's say you miss a deadline, or you know you won't finish a deadline. Okay, just try to get it done as soon as possible. Complete the work first. Then you'll come to visit me in my office hours. You don't email me asking for a sanction. You just come visit me during office hours, and I can remove the late penalties. All right? For exams and stuff, you will have to have some documentation, or a quiz. You have to have some documentation why you miss these things, especially in an online course, because you're available to take it over a huge amount of time. Okay? So you get... you lose 10% per day, rounded up until it hits 0. And actually about 11 days or 12 days after the assignment's due, it just doesn't even allow submissions anymore. So keep up with your work. And let me be very clear. Everything in this class is due at 10:30 p.m. And if you turn it in at 10:30 p.m. and 1 second, Canvas will consider it late and just mark it down automatically. So make sure you turn it in at like 10. So just pretend everything's due at 10. That gives you 30 minutes to turn in stuff. For the web-based homework, we're trying something new with the department. I'm going to still have Canvas mark it down, but it will say 0 penalty for incomplete work, but Canvas should correctly apply this deduction for 10% today. If it does not, I'll have to go in and tinker with things, but it should be automatic. Again, since we use Advanced LMS integration, it should, your grades should sync. So when you click on your grades, which I won't do because it'll show me all of everyone's grade, it will show your exact grade. If you start taking a test, it will pull the grade. So WebAssign sends the grade to Canvas about every hour or so, roughly. And whatever grade you have, when it sends the grade, is the grade it's going to show. So if you start taking a test and you get like 2 problems done, and it'll ship over the grade for the midterm of, 10 out of 100, and all of a sudden you're failing the course. Finish the test, and then it'll ship the new grade of 90% or 100% or whatever you earned on the midterm. Okay, so just be aware of that. Guidelines for credential respect. Just don't put anything on Discord that you wouldn't want the faculty to see, right? Online testing section, you must turn in your test before the exam, all this other stuff. Tutoring, there's a tutoring extra credit. I'll show that later. It's held at CRC. The other one's in the Academic Success Center. I think the other one's NetTutor. I don't know if we paid for it this term. We may not have access to it. So that will be there. Academic integrity, don't cheat, don't do this stuff. Any use of AI tools for any reason is considered, you'll get a 0 for the entire course if there's 2 instances in the same term, no matter how minor. So if you use AI, you will get a 0. And a flexibility statement, the pandemic or the on-campus shooting just shows that we need to change syllabus policies. For example, with the shooting, they decided it was best for students to not have to come to campus after the tragic event, which is good. But we didn't have finals, and so the grading shifted, so we had to change our syllabus. So this just allows for such things like that. Okay, so that's the syllabus. How's this class run? This class runs like this. Here's what we'll do: introduction, syllabus, in the first 2 sections. And then for your first test, I have it a single section, so you have space to take the test and kind of figure out how that all works. After that, it picks up just a little bit, right? It picks up just a little bit, and you'll notice that we do, here we do more sections and more and more. Okay, and so it's about 3 a term on it. It's 2 to 3 a term is about average. Okay, but I did want to leave this one all by itself. Honestly, you don't need that. You can just keep going through here. You can see as you go down, you'll see what we're doing. There's an overview of the assignments. What we're doing, an overview of the assignments. What we're doing, the overview of the assignments. 5.6 was added and then taken away, so we won't be doing that. And it's an overview and assignments. Okay. See anything else I need to do? WebAssign this. Introduce yourself. You're going to introduce yourself on Discord. Let me open that up. Once you get access to this, you're going to introduce yourself. Just say your name, your hobbies. There's a place that says right here that says introductions. You can just put it right in here. Okay. And then notice that later you're going to see your participation for the week, right? Let's open that up. This is different than your introduction. It says so right at the bottom. Note this is different. Introduce yourself. And so here, after you introduce yourself, you could just say, oh, this is what my pet looks like, and send a picture of your pet. Okay? Other than that, I think I've gone on long enough. This course is pretty self-explanatory. You have any questions, let me know. This just verifies, the academic rules. This verifies you read through the syllabus. There's nothing really else in the syllabus we need to go over. This online schedule might get updated just a little bit. That's why it's called a tentative schedule. But yeah. And then you just go through that. You do this, you do this. There'll be quizzes. These require a lockdown browser. They're not timed, and you get 2 tries. And then once you hit week 3, you're going to see something called test expectations. It shows it. You read through the thing about what happens with the test. Basically, you run the test. When you open the test, you get 150 minutes. It's programmed to take the average student about 60 minutes to work through. So you get 150, so that's plenty of time. That's almost double the time. You do need to write a whole notebook in that time, and that 150 minutes includes that time, and you do have time for troubleshooting. Like if your internet goes down, make sure you have access to go somewhere else. Okay? Because once that timer stops, it doesn't stop at all. You could like quit, log out. So if you just look at it, it's going to start that timer. So be aware. Do not click this until you're ready. If for any reason you break it, you will have to come see me, and then you'll have to take my test during office hours in my office. Okay? These are timed. You didn't need to give notebooks. You just turn in notebooks right after this, and you can just turn in after this. It's a very self-explanatory, self-paced course. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. And thank you, and hope you have a wonderful term, whether it's this fall of 2025 or later.